Good morning. Please rise, remain standing for the national anthem. Please be seated. And what a wonderful morning it is. My name is Darcy Scharf. I'm professor in behavioral science and health education and the director of the Office of Public Health Practice in the College for Public Health and Social Justice, and I'm so thrilled to be here with you this morning. I have the distinct honor of serving as Master of Ceremonies for today's pre-commencement ceremony. We welcome distinguished faculty, staff, graduates, guests, friends, and family to our annual celebration of the College for Public Health and Social Justice and the School of Social Work. Our invocation this morning will be offered by Dr. Ben Smith, Service Leader Program Manager in the Chaifetz School of Business.
My dear friends, let us pray to the all-knowing and loving God that all who have entered into this university seeking instruction, knowledge, and wisdom may always hear the voice of God and receive the inner instruction of God's Spirit. Lord God Almighty, in your kindness, hear our prayer. We have dedicated our time at St. Luke's University to the formation of mind and spirit to serve you and our neighbor. Grant that the faculty, staff, families, friends, and graduates together here may always pursue the truth and learn to walk ever closer to you, the source of all truth and life. We ask you to bless this pre-commencement ceremony and all who have gathered here. We remember in a special way all those who have gone before us and all those who could not be with us for this occasion. We ask for your wisdom and understanding that we may see your blessings in our accomplishments and rejoice in your guiding hand in every aspect of our lives. We make this prayer in your great and holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Next, I'd like to invite Dr. Ellen Barnage, Dean of the School of Public Health and Social Justice, to offer her welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the College for Public Health and Social Justice and the School of Social Work, I would like to welcome each of you to our 2022 pre-commencement ceremony. I'm honored and privileged to serve as the Dean of the College. As students and faculty, we represent diverse fields of public health, social work, health management and policy, urban planning, applied behavioral analysis, criminology and criminal justice, and more. Today, we celebrate each of your endeavors to address some of the most important challenges we face as society. I particularly want to thank the family and friends of these graduates who I know have provided their love, support, sacrifice, patience, and encouragement over the past years. In addition, I want to thank you for waking up so painfully early to join us this morning. Some of you have traveled from other states and even other countries to be here. And if that's not love, I'm not sure what is. Today, we come to celebrate this very significant milestones in the lives of our graduates. Their hard work, late nights, and perseverance have made this possible. Their intellect, commitment, and passion for making a difference has made it such a pleasure to spend these years with them. Let me share a little information about today's graduates. We have 125 undergraduate and 228 graduate students who make up the class of 2022. They came to us from more than 150 different cities in 29 states and more than 13 countries, including Burma, China, Ethiopia, Honduras, India, Kenya, Nigeria, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia. They represent more than 30 different faith traditions and a broad range of educational backgrounds, having earned prior degrees at 84 different universities and more than 70 different areas of study. Their ages span 5 decades, ranging from 19 to almost 60. It's an outstanding graduating class academically. Many were recipients of prestigious awards and were named McNair Scholars, Presidential Scholars, and Martin Luther King Jr. Scholars. They are graduating today with degrees and certificates in 52 different combinations. One of the best parts of my job is getting to meet alumni and learning about the amazing things that they are accomplishing. Today, these students will join nearly 10,000 alumni who are spread throughout the globe. They will fill leadership roles at nearly every major health corporation in the U.S., serve in key positions at federal, state, and local government agencies, and in innovative startup companies. We have other alumni working to transform our inner cities, underserved rural areas, and our criminal justice system. Others are helping families navigate drug addiction, complex health situations, and helping individuals work through some of the toughest moments of their lives. We have graduates who lead healthcare organizations, serve at nonprofits to prevent injury and illness, and who analyze data to improve healthcare nationally and globally. Our graduates' ultimate goal is to help others. In the spirit of recognizing the achievements of our current students, I wanted to call special attention to those of you who have served on the SLU contact tracing team. Some of you have been on this team for 2 years now, so if you have been involved, could you please stand to be recognized? Thank you for your service to the SLU community. Class of 2022, today you join this amazing group of alumni who are leading lives and careers that have real impact. Individuals who are boldly tackling the greatest challenges we face in health, well-being, and society. We know you will do amazing things. We're excited and proud to watch all that you will accomplish. On stage with us today, we have a number of college leaders who will help us in our celebration. Would the director of the School of Social Work, Dr. Noelle Fern, the associate deans, and the department chairs please stand to be recognized? Next, I would like the program directors and staff on stage to stand to be recognized. I welcome each of you to our ceremony this morning and applaud your support of our students. Please join me in welcoming the class of 2022. At this time, please welcome Dr. Kimberly Annard to the podium to give a tribute to one of our students, Gabrielle M. Jonas.
At this time, we at the College for Public Health and Social Justice and the School of Social Work would like to offer a tribute to Gabrielle M. Jonas, who would have graduated today with her master's degree in health administration. So sadly, Gabby passed away after a short illness this spring. A promising student with a world of opportunities available to her, she was headed to a year-long fellowship at Children's Hospital in Omaha, Nebraska, when her life was cut short. Survived by her parents, Michael and Karen, and her brothers, McLean and Spencer, Gabby was fearlessly unapologetic in life. She expressed herself honestly and was never one to sugarcoat her responses to anyone. As a huge sports fan, Gabby followed football, baseball, golf, and especially softball, and was an avid fan. She will be remembered as the fiercest competitor, a loyal and compassionate friend, and loving daughter, granddaughter, sister, niece, and cousin. The college and the School of Social Work mourn the loss of her promising and brilliant life taken too soon. For students and faculty who knew her, we wish you peace and prosperity, and we hope you are inspired by the example she set. For Gabby's family, we wish you only the consolation of a life well lived and a light not unseen. As is written in Joshua chapter 1, verse 9, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." In Gabby's honor, St. Louis University would like to grant her Master of Health Administration diploma to her family.
Thank you, Dr. Annard. An inspiring leader in our school's history was Dr. Terry Leet. Terry was a faculty member in the College for Public Health and Social Justice. Dr. Leet had a gift for teaching, for distilling complicated information into simple concepts. He was fully committed to the growth and development of students. He passed away in 2009 after battling non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and he left a legacy of teaching excellence, which we honor every year at graduation by recognizing the Teacher of the Year. From our many exceptional teachers, one faculty member is selected through student nominations. Please join me in congratulating the 22 recipient of the Terry Leet Teaching Award, Dr. Vithia Morugan. It is evident from the moment you step into her classroom that Dr. Morugan has an immense passion for the field of social work. She is always enthusiastic about the subject matter, striving to make it approachable for students. Dr. Morugan always goes the extra mile to connect with students, to see them as real people with lives outside of the classroom and complex and personal social identities. Dr. Morugan challenges students to tackle difficult and controversial topics, and she makes sure every student is heard and everyone's opinions are respected. We applaud Dr. Morugan for all of her thought-provoking classes, her passion for her work, and her respect for students. Congratulations, Dr. Morugan. We now have the pleasure of hearing from a student about their experience in the college. I would like to introduce Hayley Elkins. Originally from O'Fallon, Missouri, Hayley holds a Bachelor of Science in Health Sciences from Truman State University and is graduating with a Master's in Public Health from St. Louis University. On campus, she participated in the Student Association of Public Health and worked on contact tracing team at SLU. She's a certified health education specialist and certified in public health. She is currently preparing to enter the emergency management and disaster preparedness field. Please welcome Hayley.
When I decided to go to SLU, it was just 8 days after my dad died. At the time, I had just moved across the country to New Mexico with my now husband, and I had no idea what I was doing. We took a risk, and we moved back to St. Louis, where I call home, and I started school just a few weeks later. Looking back, I think of all the barriers that could have kept me from getting here. There were more barriers than doors. Sometimes I ask myself, how did I make it this far? Over the past 2.5 years, we have all been subject to the overwhelming emotions of a global pandemic, to the grief of what life was before, to the heaviness of being a college student, and yet, against all those odds, we are here today, graduating. The idea of being a person for and with others is one of the Jesuit values. This value embodies the spirit of giving and providing service to those in need, standing with the poor and marginalized. I can't think of a college or school that does this more than the College of Public Health and Social Justice and the School of Social Work. We are a room full of social workers, public health workers, criminologists, biostatisticians, urban planners, and so much more. The very nature of our professions is rooted in serving others. We are all familiar with the actions of service involved in helping those in need, but what may be more uncomfortable is the feeling of being the one who's in need of service. I started my journey at SLU in this uncomfortable spot. The academic in me wants to say it was the coursework or the content of my degree that inspired me to make it through this program despite the barriers present, but that would be a lie. It's the people here now. It's always been the people. To quote one of my favorite books, The 5 People You'll Meet in Heaven by Mitch Abram, the only time we waste is the time spent thinking we were alone. The people I met along the way reminded me of this. I think similarly to Eddie's journey in this book, we've all gone through countless lessons through our journey at SLU. So here are 5 of the most valuable lessons I've learned at SLU that were taught to me by the people who are for and with me and have made me into a person for and with others. Lesson number 1. Everything happens for a reason. No act or moment is random, no matter how insignificant it may seem. Everything we do leaves an imprint on our world. We've all met someone who reminds us of how intertwined we all are. We are all creating an impact around the world, despite what we are able to see at the moment. Lesson 2. Sacrifice makes an impact in the life of others. Our journey at SLU did not come without sacrifice. Every sacrifice we made was just passing along something precious to someone else. We've all prepared to go out into the world and to dedicate our lives to helping others. This is the beauty of the sacrifices we have made. Lesson number 3, the importance of forgiveness. This is a hard one. How do you forgive a global pandemic? But the reality is you cannot move forward and enjoy a colorful life if you are stuck in the past. Opening my heart to forgiveness and to the world, to others, and to myself allowed me to build new relationships that have allowed my heart to overflow with joy. Lesson number 4, the essence of love. Love is an infinite emotion that cannot be easily wiped away when someone leaves. Maybe this is a reminder for people who have passed in our lives, or for the people we met here who we are soon going to leave. Love can be heavy, but love is also strong. Love is what has driven all of us here and what will continue to drive us to our next steps. Lesson number 5, the purpose of life. We all have a specific purpose. We are all called to care for others and love other people. This is evident in the sacrifices and forgiveness we have had to accept along our way. No matter how we feel in this moment about our purpose, try to remember that the universe is weaving a beautiful tapestry of our lives and everyone we have touched, even if it just looks like a bunch of knots right now. So I will leave you with this, another quote from the 5 people you'll meet in heaven. All endings are also beginnings. We just didn't know it at the time. So thank you to SLU and to everyone I've met along the way who's gotten a front row seat to me becoming a person rooted in others. I'm hopeful for our new beginnings.
Thank you, Hayley, and so inspiring. It is now my pleasure to introduce your faculty speaker, Dr. Marla Bergweger, Professor Emeritus in the School of Social Work, the Executive Director of the Gateway Geriatric Education Center, and a Fellow in the Gerontological Society of America. During 27 years at SLU, she has served as Social Work Field Director, Senior Associate Provost of Academic Affairs, and Interim Dean. Her scholarly work focuses on aging, faculty caregiving, and social work practice. She has authored 4 books and more than 100 book chapters and journal articles. Her research focuses on family caregiving, cognitive stimulation therapy, driving, and loneliness and social isolation. She is the past president of the Association for Gerontology, Education, and Social Work, and the National Association of Geriatric Education. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Bergweger.
Thank you, Dr. Scharf. Good morning, everyone. Please let me add my welcome to those that you've already received to the 2022 pre-commencement ceremony for the College for Public Service and Public Health, and Social Justice and the School of Social Work. I want to congratulate the graduates and also to congratulate and thank your family and friends for the support that they've given you to be able for you to get here today and experience this important milestone in your life. This pre-commencement is one of our university's time-honored traditions, and I'm so pleased that we're able to experience it together and in person for the first time in several years. I hope that you'll leave here today knowing that you're part of not only this important tradition of honoring graduates, but that you're about to join in the 204-year-old tradition of being a St. Louis University alumni. You will be joining over 135,000 alumni who are living in 50 countries around the world. Each of you are here today because you've completed the requirements for a degree from this university and from the college in your program. But you've done far more than just check off a list of courses in the field that you chose to study. You've done this within the context of the Catholic Jesuit traditions and education. You've identified an area of expertise that you want to develop, where your passions are meeting the world's needs. And you're now prepared to go forward and follow that passion to make the world a better place for us all to live. Like each of you, I have my own story of my journey. that led me to be here with you today. I was never meant to go to college. I'm a first-generation college graduate. Of my 4 grandparents and 2 parents, 2 completed high school. My mother's goal for me was to be able to get a better job than she had ever had. So in saying that, I had no plan, no mentorship particularly, because there was nothing to prepare for. I didn't know that one could have a passion or would know how to pursue it if I had it. However, I found that passion, and I have 2 things that I want to share with you that brought me here today. And I'm hopeful maybe that my insights can be helpful as you think about your journey going forward. The first, which is really much more of a reminder, is to cherish the opportunities that come your way. I took to heart the encouragement and the opportunities that came my way. Whether it was that community college instructor who asked if I'd ever thought about being a social worker, which, by the way, I didn't know what that was when that question was asked. I've learned since. My social work coworkers, who later encouraged me to seek a graduate degree, master's in social work, and then on to a doctoral degree in social work. The people who became my mentors and continue to be my mentors today helped me to learn how to navigate all these opportunities that were presenting themselves, and they helped me to see the human side of all of our experiences. The opportunities that come your way, whether they just find you or you create them or you nudge them along sometimes, be willing to be open to those. You don't have to leap at every one of them, but please do consider before you say no, because these may have come into your life at the right time for a very compelling reason. The second thing that I've learned along the way is perseverance. I suspect we all have those times when we question what we're doing. Should we continue? How can we continue? Especially when we experience some kind of setback. I know that I've certainly experienced that and continue to do so, but I just kept moving forward. I was so moved when our newest Supreme Court Justice, Ketanji Brown Jackson, shared this statement at one of her confirmation hearings when she was asked what she would say to young people. I would just tell them to persevere. That was so meaningful for me to hear that, and it's hopefully an important message for all of us. Most commencement speeches are quickly forgotten, but I hope you can take away from today something in all the presentations that you've heard that will be meaningful for you as you continue on your journey. Just as a reminder, please do commit to being open to those experiences. You never know what you're going to learn or gain from that employment opportunity, that committee that you're asked to be on, the new project you're asked to take on. But it's almost certain that it will contribute to who you become as you move down the path of your careers. And secondly, persevere in your passion and your pursuit of your passions. There will undoubtedly be difficult times, but you just really do have to acknowledge that your dreams deserve your full commitment. My story is not your story, but I hope you will take time to reflect on where you are and where you want to go and where you've been. Today is not just a celebration of achievements, but it's a celebration of transitions. Each of you has completed your program of study and will be transitioning to another chapter of your life. Transitions provide us with a great opportunity to reflect, and I hope you'll take some time during this week of celebrations to do so. Today is only one of several opportunities you have this week to celebrate your accomplishments, and by all means do. You have earned it. I hope you'll pause and not think of just the tangible things, that class that you got finished, that paper that got turned in, but the growth and the change that you've experienced as a person with and for others, as you've heard about earlier today. And to know that for as much as you've grown and changed, that there's so much more to come. I want to end with a quote that I hope sums up my message for today. It's from a person you probably won't expect, and coming from a person who is not a particular sports enthusiast, but one of our world's best-known soccer players, Pelé, said this: "Success is no accident. It's hard work. It's perseverance, it's learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, a love of what you're doing or what you're learning to do. So I hope that all of you have loved what you have been learning these past years that you've been here at St. Louis U, and that you will continue to love it. We're all here because we're committed to serving others. So I hope each of you will fulfill that commitment and take time to know and to bask in that. Thank you to our graduates for allowing us to be part of your life's journey, and congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you for those important words, Dr. Bergweger. We will now present the graduates of 2022.
The doctoral graduates in public health studies are Satish Munagala, Doctor of Philosophy and Public Health Studies, Health Outcomes Research. Mentor, Dr. Thomas Burrows. Dissertation title, Predictors of Medium and Long-Term Risk of Pancreatic Cancer. Stephen Emery Scroggins, Doctor of Philosophy and Public Health Studies, Behavioral Science and Health Education. Mentor, Dr. Enbal Shakam. Dissertation title, Describing COVID-19 Spatial Dispersion Patterns Using Novel Peak Analysis and Geographic Mobility. Jia Swen, Doctor of Philosophy and Public Health Studies, Epidemiology. Mentor, Dr. Jaming Chen. Dissertation title, Modification of Indoor Pollution on the Associations Between Preterm Birth and Maternal Family History of Hypertension, Irregular Work Shift, and Multivitamin Intake. Ting Zhao, Doctor of Philosophy and Public Health Studies, Epidemiology. Mentor, Dr. Catherine Stamatakis. Dissertation title, A Sequential Approach to Studying Direct and Indirect Longitudinal Interrelationships Between Perceived Neighborhood Quality, Sleep Quality, Loneliness, and Depression Among the Elderly in the United States. Longwen Zhao, Doctor of Philosophy and Public Health Studies, Biostatistics. Mentor, Dr. Stephen Rigdon. Dissertation title, Spatial Temporal Analysis of COVID-19 in the United States.
The doctoral candidates for social work are Nathaniel Adam Dell, Doctor of Philosophy in Social Work. Mentor, Dr. Michael Vaughn. Dissertation title, Personality and Psychopathology in Homeless Adults. Evidence from a nationally representative United States sample. Mark Aaron Fiala, Doctor of Philosophy in Social Work. Mentor, Dr. Carol Wallace. Dissertation title, Financial Toxicity and Treatment Decision-Making Among People with Multiple Myeloma. Tori Ray Gettinger, Doctor of Philosophy in Social Work. Mentor, Dr. Jean Hung. Tori is being hooded today by Dr. Michael Vaughn. Dissertation title, Examining Food Insecurity Among Cancer Patients and Survivors. Nathaniel Grant House, Doctor of Philosophy in Social Work. Mentor, Dr. Jesse Helton. Dissertation title, Hope, Attachment, Associated Factors, and Adverse Childhood Experiences. Mirvat Turmus Sharafuddin, Doctor of Philosophy in Social Work. Mentor, Dr. Michael Vaughn. Miravat is being hooded today by Dr. Michael Vaughn. Dissertation title, A Conundrum of Violence, the Case of Intimate Partner Violence and Contraceptive Discontinuation Among Women in Afghanistan.
The following students have earned a Master of Health Administration. Stephen Chase Dallin. Danielle Nicole Dant. Kajal Suresh Dalakia. Michaela Elise Dix. Destiny Paige Garrett. Irene Guadalupe Garza Lazo. Sosna A. Gellau. Saswat Kumar Giri. Chung Yao Ip. Justin Alex John. Sandeep Kantamnini. Megan Jane Kress. Nitish Kumar. Claire Marie LeBlance. Madison Nicole Laquat. Gregory Michael Long.